Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Myers Park High School Senior Night. Tonight, you're going to learn some information. It is an informational session. Even though the chat box is open, it will not be monitored. Students will have an opportunity to sign up with their counselors during their senior conferences. So today, basically, what we're going to do is go through some information that you can use that's going to help you with your senior conferences. Next slide, please. I'm sorry, could you actually go back? I didn't actually introduce the counselors or say their names. I do apologize about that. So our counselors are Ms. Adrienne Corbett, Ms. Brittany Weber, Ms. Kimberly Folk, Amber Dowdy, Jenny Jenkins, Martin Unger, me, Sandra Kendall, Sequoia Goodman, and Ms. Meredith Sherrill. And our support staff is Ms. Stephanie Eddington and Mr. Corey Foreman. Next slide, please. And this is our agenda. We're going to go through and share that information. And next slide, please.
Good evening. My name is Miss Beyer. I work with your Student Services Department to help students that are currently at Myers Park with their career development programs. This means a lot of things at Myers Park with a lot of opportunities. Our main website you'll see on the screen there is bit.ly/MPHS CDC for Career Development Coordinator. A few of the things I'm going to talk about that we go through today is the college and career goal planning. We will be using Naviance that Ms. Folk will talk about a little bit more down the road tonight, and how we can use that to help students kind of kickstart their career goals as they're planning for colleges as well. One of the great things we have going on right now is our Mayor's Youth Internship Program, and I'll give you a full set of information about that. We have multiple internship opportunities and job opportunities at Myers Park, and we can also assist with direct military opportunities through the ASVAB testing and other recruiting options, if that's the path your student is looking for. And of course, while they're still at Myers Park, we have the College and Career Promise Program through CPCC, as well as placement directly into CPCC after graduation and scholarship opportunities. So I kind of focus on that career side as it applies to their senior year and CPCC directly. So if you can go to the next slide, we'll talk a little bit about our first program. Even though your student is currently a senior, they still have an opportunity for one more internship program opportunity at Myers Park. As you can see in orange, the bit.ly for that website is bit.ly/MPHS, and this one is Mayor for the Mayor's Youth Program. If your student is interested in job and career training, we'll provide that for them through CPCC. It's a virtual 1 hour a week course. And then at the end of that course, the Mayor's Youth Program provides them with paid internship opportunities. Now, these paid internships are very different from just jobs over the summer. These are internships where they learn the other side of a business. So we've had internships with Little Corporation, with Atrium Health, Bank of America. So these would be larger based businesses where they could learn career skills and not just a job. You'll notice that we do only have one information session left, and that is the information session on Thursday, the 23rd at 6:30 p.m. All of this can be found on our website, but I want to point out the deadline for these internships and all the applications is Friday, September 24th. So even if it's something you think you might be interested in, I highly encourage you to reach out to me directly. My name is Michelle Beyer. My email address is michelle.beyer@cms.k12.nc.us. If you can't find our website, I will always direct you there. And this again is the Mayor's Youth Employment Program and paid internships. When you're ready, next slide. Another popular program that I help out with here at Myers Park is our Career and College Promise program. Now, you'll hear a lot of our students call this your CPCC dual credit, where students are taking credits for college at the same time that they are taking high school classes. A lot of students find, especially at the end of their senior year, a lot of what they have left is elective credits. So some of our seniors like to take opportunities to reach out to those courses at the college level as well. Some of the things we do have to consider is, does your student want to just take a few classes? Maybe your student is looking to build that resume for some late applications to colleges, and so that those college classes can help on that transcript. And then another thing is, maybe they're just looking for a trade career. Maybe college isn't their first track and they want to look at a certification for job skills directly outside, or they just want to try a few things out to see what type of career is good for them. The Career and College Promise program does require that students have a 2.8 unweighted GPA. If you're unsure about what your student's unweighted GPA is, email me. I'll be happy to look it up and tell you if they qualify under that category. Now, we did just open this application process, and we've got all the way through November 1st. The website for the Career and College Promise program is bit.ly/MPHS-CCP, or again, you can always email me and I'll link you directly. Our first webinar is tomorrow afternoon at 2:45. But don't worry if you can't make it. Go to the website and a ton of information is there already. Or maybe you can join us at one of our evening sessions. And again, my name is Mrs. Beyer, and my email address is michellet.beyer@cms.k12.nc.us. We also, again, help with job placements, resume building, career finding, and military placement if that's the path your child is choosing. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out.
Next slide, please. Hi, it's me, Mrs. Kendall again, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about senior conferences. Why do I need to have a senior conference with my counselor? Regardless if you're planning on going to college, or if you're going to the military, or if you are planning to go directly after high school to work, it's very important that you have your senior conference. During this time, we'll review credits earned and credits that you need to. So that way we'll know if you're meeting graduation requirements. We also discuss your post-secondary plans. As Ms. Beyer said, we can help you with military, whether you want to go straight into the workforce. And even if you want to do an internship, that is the time to start speaking with your counselors. We also talk to you a little bit about how to apply to colleges. We go over Naviance with you. Ms. Folk is going to talk a little bit about that later. We talk to you about FAFSA, scholarships, how to pay for college. And then we also can help you learn how to schedule college visits, actually meet with the military, and so much more. Now, one of the things that we do need to let you know is that there's been a glitch in the CMS system. So we are still waiting to update rank. So if you have an early appointment with your counselors, we won't be able to give you your transcripts immediately until we run rank and CMS has knocked this glitch out. Next slide, please.
Hi, I'm Ms. Folk, and I am here to talk a little bit about requesting those most anticipated transcripts. So like Ms. Kendall said, we anticipated and wanted to have those transcripts ready for you on September 15th. We hope to have those available for you by this week. And it was not a Myers Park glitch, but a whole district-wide glitch. So we are working on it. But in the meantime, I want to make sure that you understand how to request transcripts and also know where there are resources to help you through the Naviance process. So in requesting transcripts, the first thing you will do is log into your Naviance account. And for those of you who are new to Naviance, you access it through your NC Ed Cloud account and then go straight to Clever and then to Naviance. So no password needed. Once you're in Naviance, you are going to click on colleges I'm applying to or to apply to colleges. Next slide, please. From there, the highlighted areas in the slide, you're going to click on that plus button where it says request transcripts. And you're also going to click on the schools that you've added to Naviance on the check marks on the left-hand side. So both of those are highlighted for you. So once you click on those schools and then click the plus sign on request transcripts, next slide, please. You're going to request initial transcript. At this point, initial transcript is your only choice so that students aren't confused. We'll add the option to request mid-year transcripts later on in the year in February if students need that option. But for now, initial is the only choice. And then those schools that you clicked from the first slide will show up in the box below. And then you'll click request and finish. Next slide, please. And so after you request those, you can see on your Naviance account if you have requested them or not, or if that request went through. So I've highlighted under transcripts where it says requested. So that shows that you have made that request. If it does not say requested, go back to those original slides and start over. But if you followed this process, then it will say requested under your main Naviance screen. And then next slide. And then students also ask many times, where is my transcript? Was it sent? You can actually track that too once you've requested that transcript. If under office materials, if it says pending, that means the School of Myers Park has not sent that transcript yet. And so if that's an issue, then you would definitely contact your counselor. If it says initial materials submitted, that means Myers Park has sent your information and you are just waiting on your college to add that to your application file. Keep in mind that even though we might send a transcript on a Monday, it doesn't mean that your file within your college is updated as soon as Tuesday. So the colleges actually have to go through Naviance, download that transcript, and then match it with your file. So that could take up to a week or two. So if you see that initial materials are submitted, but in your Wolfpack Paul account or your Tar Heel account or whatever college, it's still not showing a green check, it just means it's in the college's hands and they're processing, matching all that information together. And so next slide, please. Okay, things to keep in mind. The application is the only piece of information that is due on the college deadline. So students who have an October 15th date deadline, it just means that application has to be submitted by 11:59 on October 15th. That does not mean that teachers, nor test scores, nor transcripts have to arrive at 11:59 on the 15th of October. It just means the student's application does. Schools with the transcript, teachers, test scores, that's all going to come in within 2 to 3 weeks after that application deadline. And those schools are piecing all that information together. So just be aware of that. Transcripts that we send through Naviance, they are free. There is no charge. And also, if you need help with matching with your Common App, adding colleges to Naviance or any Naviance how-tos, there's a video that should be posted on your homeroom advisory Canvas page. If it is not, then you can reach out to me directly, Mrs. Folk, and I can send it to you, or to your counselor, and we can get those videos to you as well. So thanks so much, and next slide.
Good evening. I'm Meredith Sherrill, and I'm one of the counselors. And I know that for those of us that are getting older in our age, maybe these words are very small, but don't worry that this is being recorded and you all will have access to this PowerPoint and you can read all this good advice. But I'll go over some of it for you. So my assignment from my team was to talk about the college essay. It's one of my favorite things to talk about because if you're using test scores are done, they're complete, your transcript is complete, nothing else can be changed. All of that is what has been done in the past. The college essay is actually the piece that you all as students have the most control over at this time, because this is your piece. This is your chance for your voice, your personality to shine through. And so a lot of kids do worry about this and put too much pressure on it, when it really is, it's a chance to really be you. And so when I was preparing for this, I did some research, and if y'all Google good college essays, oh my gosh, you'll have so many hits, but don't read it all because it'll overwhelm you, and a lot of it's bad advice. So I've gone directly to some colleges that we have partnered with in the past and giving you the best advice. The most important piece of advice is that it should be written by the student, in the student's voice, not using text lingo, LOL and SMH, but many colleges have told us time and time again, the reps have told us that they can tell when a 40-year-old has written a college essay. So it should be a student's voice, a student's story, a student's chance to be themselves in their essay. Choose the right topic for you, students. Don't worry about, oh, what do they want to hear, or I have to take the popular view on some social issue. They're really trying to see how you think and how you communicate and how you back up your thoughts. And it can be something as big as climate change, or it can be something as small as the importance of making my bed every day. It does not have to be a grandiose, huge undertaking as far as the essay topic. I recommend many of our students, to our students, that you write on several of the different prompts and then walk away from it for a couple of days and see what's kind of sitting with you. And then that's probably what's on your mind and what's in your gut and what's in your heart to say. Share something that's unique to your experience, that maybe is not anywhere else in your application, or maybe it's something that goes deeper in your application. For instance, if you're involved in debate as a club at Myers Park, maybe there is a specific tournament or a specific accomplishment that you want to dive deeper in and lift up. Be real, and also be yourself, and share, but don't get too personal. Meaning, like, you don't have to reveal your inner self. You can if you'd like, but don't worry that you have to like tell some deep dark secret. If you're passionate about an issue, don't avoid it because just because it's controversial. Remember that many of our admissions counselors that are reading essays are people that are just like you. Many of them are young, just graduated from college, and so they admire and understand passion and that you have a lot of things that you think about. And so don't shy away from topics because you're scared that it's not the right topic or it's not the right opinion about that topic. Be a good storyteller. Use a good opener. We talk about that you want to hook a reader. Remember, again, these admissions counselors are reading, some of them reading, tens of thousands of essays. So don't be too cutesy, but do be enough that you grab their attention and that so the reader wants to read more and wants to know more about you. Show rather than tell. And they tell us this about writing letters of recommendation as well. Don't just tell me that you love to read. Tell me about places that you love to read or examples of good books that you've read. So use examples, don't just tell it. Show me through experience. Oh, start early. Y'all, Mrs. Folk was talking to how your application's not due until 11:59 on maybe October 15th. Do not start writing your essay at 11 p.m. As your English teachers have trained you over the last several years, writing is a process. And so you should start weeks in advance. And again, students, y'all should write essays and then walk away from them, draft them, and over time, they kind of marinate and become great with time. Do have someone read it over for grammar checks, not necessarily to change your voice or to tell you what words to use, but to make sure that it's cleaned up grammatically. Let's see. Remember, substance and voice are better than perfection. They know that you all are 17 and 18 years old, so they're not expecting you to write like William Shakespeare or Toni Morrison. They know that you're still teenagers. You've got a great essay in every single one of you. And again, try not to stress too much about this. This is your chance for you to be you. Next slide, please. This is the snippets from the bigger slide. You write it, start early. Don't write what you think they want to read, write what you want to say. It will come easier to you. Don't blow it off. They are read, y'all, they are read. And they often can make or break a decision. We have had students that have felt like that they were a good candidate for school X, but their essay just fell short. So students, don't blow it off. And again, this is the one part of your application that you are in the most control of at this time. Next slide. These are some links. Again, like I said earlier, if you Google how to write a great essay, you will get too much advice. But we do, we'll have these links available to you, and then you can read more from UVA or Carolina or Vanderbilt. And these are just a few I chose that you can read the tips that I just read to you or just told you, that you can read them from yourself from those school websites. Thank you.
Good evening. I am Ms. Goodman, and I am going to be speaking about senior schedule changes. So by now, everyone should have their senior schedule all ready to go for the year. I know there are going to be some exceptions with students who are taking CPCC classes and those second semester courses not being on your schedule at this time. But other than that exception, your senior schedule should be set. The schedule is going to be on your transcript. So when you receive a copy of your transcript, or the college receives the transcript, at the very bottom, after your rank and everything on the transcript, there's going to be a list of classes. And so when we send that list of courses, in addition to, with the transcript, the colleges are then looking at your schedule, and that is a part of your application. That is a part of what they are using to make their determination. And so we cannot stress to you guys enough that some of you, I know, during this time, it's like, let's, send the best schedule I have, but then maybe you want to change your schedule later. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that. So the 4x4 classes for your schedule can be changed within the first 10 days of school. That is a per CMS policy. A-Day, B-Day courses can be changed within the first 20 days of school because they're on a rotating basis. Now, if you have a semester schedule and you are thinking next semester you may want a late arrival or an early release, that is something that should be discussed with your counselor before you send off your transcript. Because once that transcript is sent, if you decide to change your schedule in any capacity, you then need to get permission from the colleges you've applied to in writing. And the reason for that is, as I've stated, that they are using those courses as a part of your application. And therefore, if anything changes, they need to know. Now, there have been some schools that have separate emails that they want you to send directly to them to change your schedule, and then they will give you a confirmation whether or not that schedule can change. Others just want you to contact them, and you can do that by email, or if they have any other way, they'll let you know on the website. But the easiest thing for you to do when you meet with your counselor is to go over your schedule, make sure that that is the schedule that you need and want for the year. With the schedule change process right now, we have completed the 4x4 for this semester, the 4x4 schedule changes for this semester. For 8A, B-Day courses, the 20th day of school, I believe, is this week. And then for next semester, it is the same thing. Within the first week of school, those changes can be made. But as a senior, that if you're applying to college, your schedule change should have already happened. But again, I encourage you to talk to your counselor if you have questions or if there are any changes that need to be made prior to us sending that transcript off. And actually, your counselor will probably sit with you and have you review that transcript, or you will be able to view it on your own, just to make sure that everything looks good for you and we are ready to send that. I know some students have, there's a different timeline with CPCC classes when you can add and drop sometimes. And so to be aware of that, we always have students to review their transcript to make sure that the courses that they said they were going to take are actually included in that first semester. If you have a late arrival or early release, for instance, some students choose to have a late arrival or early release during the first semester, and some choose the second semester. When your colleges receive your transcript with the schedule on it, they're just going to see the number of classes. They do not know specifically if you have a late arrival or early release. Some students, when they want to change their schedule, they're actually asking to drop a class. And so sometimes, depending on the course, if it is a, let's say, something that is not a core course, it's just a general elective, it may not be a big deal, but for some of you or for some of your colleges, it might. Some of your schools may be extremely selective and they want you to have a full schedule. Other schools are going to be a little bit more lenient. And so you just need to make sure that whatever decisions you make in regards to your schedule, that your schedule is aligned to the schools in which you are applying to. Thank you.
Hello. Hi, everyone. My name is Mrs. Corbett, and I am going to be speaking about applying for financial aid. There are several types of financial aid that students and parents could pursue in order to pay for college, and those includes grants, work study, loans, and scholarships. We will talk about scholarships a little bit more later in the presentation. Ms. Jenkins will speak about that, but right now we're just specifically talking about financial aid. All types of financial aid come from various sources that can include the federal government, local clubs, civic organizations, as well as the actual college or university that you're applying to. If you want more information on the types of aid available, you can also visit this website, studentaid.gov/types, and it will give you more information on each type of financial aid, including the 4 I discussed earlier. Next slide, please. In terms of federal financial aid, students must complete the FAFSA form. And if you have not heard of the FAFSA before, it is the form that you have to complete for any type of federal financial aid. And so this is the gateway to all federal money. So if you're interested in applying for financial aid, the FAFSA form will open on October 1st, and that is when you can begin to apply. On the next slide, I'll talk a little bit more about the application process. But generally, the amount awarded is dependent on your financial need, and your financial need is determined from your FAFSA form. And so as you can see on the slide, it says financial need is determined by the expected family contribution, which is called the EFC, and the cost of attendance. And if you look at the bottom of the screen, it speaks about how the cost of attendance includes the tuition, fees, room and board, transportation, etc. So basically, when they are making a decision, it is usually your cost of attendance subtracted by your EFC, which determines your financial need. And so if you have a financial need, if you get this information and you need more money for colleges, there are other opportunities to get more money for college. And those were the 4 types that I spoke about in the first slide. And then if you have questions about this, we will have a financial aid night on October 5th. And then you will be able to get more detailed information on this process, what the EFC looks like. If you have any questions about any of this, you will be able to ask your questions on our financial aid night on October 5th, and that will be virtual as well at 6 p.m. Next slide, please. These are the steps to apply for federal student aid. So the first thing you would need to do is complete an NC residency application. And I've attached the link to the slide, but if you would like the link, it's also ncresidency.cfnc.org. And so you can go on there and apply for your North Carolina residency. You will need your residency number when you complete your FAFSA, okay? Number 2, create a username and password. That will be called your FSA ID. And you can create one, the student can create one, and also the parent can create one in case if the parent wants to go on the account. Okay, that information can be found at studentaid.gov/FSAID. Okay, you will complete your FAFSA application at FAFSA.gov. And like I stated earlier, you can apply on or after October 1st, but as early as possible to meet all deadlines. And you can check with the college's financial aid websites to see like if they have specific financial aid deadlines for your FAFSA, okay? Once you complete your FAFSA application, watch for a response by email or mail confirming that your FAFSA form was processed. I know it usually comes through email unless you apply like through the mail or through the paper. So usually it comes through email. And also watch for emails or letters from the schools you are considering. And so sometimes the schools will contact you and they will ask for additional verification or additional paperwork for them to make a financial aid decision, okay? And so if you have any additional questions, you can ask them at our financial aid night. And also when we go to the next slide, we can go to the next slide. You can also find information from these websites, so studentaid.gov, or you can call the 1-800 number. And that website has information about different types of aid programs. It has links to free scholarships and college searches. And it can also help you with completing and filling out your FAFSA form. On our Myers Park Counseling website, we also have financial aid resources. I added the link, but if you're unable to access it, you can always go to our actual counseling website and type in, like, click on the link that states financial aid resources, and that will give you additional information. And then, like I stated previously, we will hold a financial aid night on October 5th, beginning at 6 p.m. and it will be virtually, and the link will be sent out to you through social media and on our Myers Park website. Okay, thank you.
Hi, everybody. It's Jenny Jenkins, one of the counselors, and I'm here to talk about scholarships, and primarily the ones that Myers Park, the school nominated scholarships that will be coming up. And we just finished one, the Moorhead Cane to UNC Chapel Hill. We held actually, I think, about 32 interviews for the school nomination. And that was due to Chapel Hill. The school nomination names by September 15th, and that's why that was so early. I just sent out today an email saying that I am taking applications for the school nomination for the Park Scholarship, which is to NC State University, and that is a full ride to NC State. These, both the Moorhead Cane and the Park Scholarship are school nominated, but they also can be self-nominated, which is really great because the students, you don't even have to go through the school nomination process if you don't want to. You can go directly to the Park Scholarship or the Morehead Kane websites and apply for the scholarships as a self-nominee. Self-nominees have been awarded the scholarships. So you definitely have a great chance. We had so many wonderful applicants, and so it's just hard to choose a select few to be the school nominee. So like I said, the Park Scholarship just went out today. You'll need to email me for the application if you want to do the school nominee process. And then 2 other scholarships that will be coming up later. The Belk Scholarship to Davidson College will be in November, probably. Those applications will go out. These 2, the Belk and the Jefferson, you cannot self-nominate. They do have to be school nominated. And the Jefferson is not due until like December 1st, so that will be later. So the great thing well, what I need for you guys to do is that you need to pay attention to announcements that go out, because it's very hard to, with such a large school and a large population and a large senior class, it's hard to make sure that this information gets out to all of you. So we encourage you to follow the MP Student Services, our Instagram. Follow IB Express, the email that comes through, the Mustang Express that comes through. Your Canvas page, we post a lot of stuff on your advisory. I know a lot of you seniors don't always like to go to your advisory/homeroom, but we do it's chock full of information that we can easily get out to everybody. And so please be paying attention to information that's coming out this year, especially as seniors, because we'll send out information about graduation, caps and gowns, and pictures. And so just make sure you're paying attention. There's other scholarships as far as, we post scholarships on our Naviance page. We post it on our Canvas page. You can also, as far as other merit-based scholarships, and that's academic scholarships, there's lots of websites you can go to. I've listed a few here, but certainly there's lots more out there, and it's a matter of hunting and searching and writing essays and applying for some of these scholarships. Lots of times your scholarships can be generated by your application. So when you apply to a certain school, they may say, hey, we really like this application. We see a lot of promise in this student. They would be perfect for this particular scholarship that we offer at our school. And you might get an email saying, hey, Sarah, we loved your application. Thank you for applying. And we would like for you to apply for the scholarship, and they'll send you a link. So sometimes your application can generate scholarships. So it's always, kids always come in and ask, how can I get scholarships? And it's literally just searching. And sometimes there's certain companies, maybe your families work for, that offer scholarships, but it is almost a part-time job to look for scholarships. So ask your counselors questions, go on some of these websites, search. And if you have any questions about the 4 nominated scholarships, then please reach out to me at virginia.jenkins@cms.k12.nc.us. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Amber Dowdy. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about testing. First of all, just in regards to school-based testing that you as seniors will have this year, many of you will have completed your EOC coursework. You'll see that's Math 1, Math 3, English 2, and Biology exams. There are several elective courses that you may need to test for. That's going to be at the end of your semesters 1 and 2. I think my internet was just a little unstable. I apologize for that. AP testing will take place May 2nd through the 13th. If you have not already registered in your AP course for that test, you do need to make sure that you go ahead and follow up with your AP teacher for that. And then IB testing, you'll see, begins April 28th and runs through May 20th next spring. You do not have to register for that. That is automatically done because you're in those IB courses. And then work keys, some of you will get an invitation to complete the work keys assessment. If you have done a trajectory in any CTE coursework, you will be given the opportunity to complete work keys, and you get a special certification for that. So it is an important opportunity if you're invited for that. We do have several SAT and ACT test dates. These are those tests that you register for and you pay for these independently. We do have fee waiver options if you need those for either of those tests. You can see the dates listed there for each of those. Of note, SAT has now completely absolved the essay portion of the test as well as the subject test. So SAT is now just the multiple choice portions and that's it. You may still register for the writing test for ACT, but just of note, most colleges do not factor your essay component into your score for your application packet. So if you're concerned about whether you need to do the essay or not, you really should reach out individually to those colleges because it is just a very small list now that would expect that essay portion to be included. So when we talk about that weekend testing, that does bring up the conversation of what does it actually mean if your college says test optional when you are applying? It can actually mean several different things. And in the state of North Carolina, many of our schools have been test optional and do plan to continue as such. And so you would want to reach out to those schools to see what does test optional mean. You might be able to find this on their admissions page. So truly test optional means it's your decision if you want to submit your scores. If you submit them, they will consider them. Test benefit, which is what many of the schools we are finding they're transitioning to this option, which is you can send your score, but they will only use it if it benefits the applicant. So if you have a strong application packet and maybe you weren't the best test taker, you can still submit the score. And if it's not going to help your application, they won't utilize that. Test flexible, there are not as many schools that adhere to test flexible, which is you get an option to submit other test scores in lieu of an SAT or an ACT. So possibly AP or IB exams, or if you took a college board subject test in the past. And then test blind means that even if you send your scores, they're not going to consider those. They're just, going to look at the rest of your application packet. Next slide, please. So then that kind of leads into, as you're preparing all of that test score and all of that, completing your application packet. And so an important time for all of our students is CFNC College Application Month, and that begins in October. We do have CFNC College Application Week, October 18th through the 22nd. During that time period, there are many North Carolina colleges that do allow you to apply for free. So I would suggest if this is an option you are interested in pursuing, to visit the cfnc.org /C2C website to find the list there, to find all of the events that they're going to offer for that month so that you can go ahead and get everything you need for that. Next slide.
Hey, I'm Mr. Unger, and I am going to talk a little bit about how to find us and also how to find important information. To the next slide, that would be great, please. So we are located in the main office, which is called the AG building, and where all of our offices are on the back hallway. If you go into the back area where the attendance lady is, Miss Eddington's desk is right there, and our offices are all behind there on that back hallway. With all the different numbers that you can find on our website, what room we're in. But that's how you'll come meet with us. Or if you ever need to come see us for anything, that's where we'll be. Next slide, please. A great way to learn information about what's going on and also find out information about your school counselor is to go to our website. You can get to our website by Googling the Myers Park High School website or go to that page, and on the left hand side you can scroll down and see a student services icon there where you can click on it and it will take us to our Myers Park High School Student Services page. Here you can locate who your counselor may be if you don't already know. You can scroll down on the main page. They'll have pictures of us, where we are located, how to make an appointment with us, all kinds of information about who we are. So you can learn about us. So that's a great place to find out about who your counselor is. And then on the left-hand side, as you can see, there's announcements, check often. We put a lot of stuff up there, a lot of good information for you guys to learn about, like upcoming events, how to do applications for certain scholarships, all kinds of different things that are going on in the student services area. Also on this page, you can find out if you're a new student, enrollment, course registration, stuff like that, that you guys have already done earlier. Next slide, please. Also, a great way to find out information about us is our Instagram page, which is the MP Student Services page. If you go and give us a follow, we will post a lot of good things for you guys to learn about. So maybe sometimes you don't have access to our school web page. You can click on your phone, check us out on Instagram, and can find out some good information on Instagram about what's going on with MP Student Services. So give us a follow on that. That would be great. Next slide, please. And then there's our Canvas page. So everybody has access to this. All you have to do is click on the link to accept us. And then you can also get more information on this Canvas page to learn more about what we're doing and what we have to offer. That's another great resource for you guys to use to find out things that are going on. So we have a lot of different formats. We also put stuff on Mustang Express. We have stuff on the morning announcements, our website, Canvas page, Instagram, all kinds of ways to find out information about us, about what's going on at the school. And I would encourage all of y'all to use these resources to find out information about what we're doing and what's going on with student services. Next slide, please.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Brittany Weber, another one of the counselors here. As Mr. Unger mentioned, we will push out these important dates through the different platforms such as Instagram, our Canvas page, and our website. Some of the dates that are really important for you all to either jot down, put in your phone, take a picture, take a screenshot, or all of the above are listed right here. So tomorrow, 9/21, senior meetings start. This is where you're going to make an appointment through the Canvas, or through the website with your counselor. You'll sit down and go through all of these platforms and make sure that you are on track for what you need with your counselor. The next important date to remember is 9/28. That's virtual fall college night. This is when you are also going to log on to a similar platform like we have tonight to learn all about different colleges and what they have to offer. As Ms. Corbett mentioned, on the 5th of October is Myers Park Financial Aid Night, where you'll learn more about FAFSA and the application process for financial aid. This is also the day for the ACT makeups for seniors during the school day. 10/6, October 6th and the 7th is going to be senior portraits. This is through Megan Ledford. If you have any questions, please reach out to her. And then last but not least, free college application week through CFNC, like Ms. Dowdy mentioned earlier, is going to be October 18th through the 22nd. So stay tuned to all those platforms that Mr. Unger mentioned in order to make sure that you are on track with all of these different dates. Next slide.
So thank you for everybody for attending tonight. You saw all the different ways that you can get in touch with your counselors. Please reach out to us. We are here to serve our students and help support you senior year. I think I can speak for the team when I say we do want to reiterate all of the academic stuff. It is very important, but just enjoy this year. Enjoy being back together. Enjoy being a senior. You guys have earned it. You deserve it. So we're just here to support you in all of the academic and social stuff that you guys are going to be doing on campus this year.
And if I can just add, make sure that you sign up for your senior conferences so we can go ahead and have all this information for you so we can make this as stressless as possible. Thank you.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for coming.
Bye.
Bye.